Starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. The time is now. The time is now. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to MAYHEMIC Thursday. We didn't die yesterday, y'all, and we all gonna die Wednesday. So now we got to deal with the mayhemicness on Thursday. Skull. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had an amazing day. Hope everybody's had a productive day. Welcome in, y'all. We got a show for you tonight. I've been running and chasing and looking and following and had everybody I could find to track down our special guest tonight. But before we get to him, we just want to say a couple hellos and heys and how y'all doing? To my brother from another mother, the one, the only, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Skull, my brother, good to see you. Hope you had a busy day. Hope you had a productive day, because productivity can sometimes equal fat pockets. I want your pockets to get the mumps, my brother, from all the work that Hudson Valley Tile is doing. I'm loving the hat, and that is banging. So hope you're doing well, bro. Rabbit, welcome in. Good to see you. Sherry's in the building. How you doing, Sherry? How you be? PJ, good to see you. Donald H. Hoots in the place. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Blue Butterfly, my man, KP Heathen, is in the building. He said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, folks. And there she is, the greatest name to ever run around on these YouTube streets. Coffee first, then speak. Good to see you, sister. How you doing? Hope you had a great day today. CJ, the preparing prepper. Welcome in, welcome in. Who else we got in the building, y'all? Come on now. Y'all get in here and settle down and scoot over. Be polite. Say, excuse me, kind sir, kind ma'am. And settle in. We got a great night tonight. Kiss off. How are you? Welcome in. My man, my personal moderator, Mr. Ghost Lincoln himself. Bruh, you just may want to keep just one eye on the meter tonight so I don't peg it, okay? Just in case. You never know. Billy, welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Anthony Crouch is in the building. My man, my brother, Dan H. is also with us. Advert, welcome in. Man, y'all are all over the place. Come on in, settle down. Blackbird's here. Dusty Country Road came in. STP is in the building. Holly's here. Man, Jason Schmidt is here. Michigan Outpost 231 just rolled through the building. Man, y'all, I appreciate it. Without further ado, y'all, this guy right here, I don't know. I might have to either talk to my mama and go back and see whether her or dad was in Texas at any point in time. I do know I have some family in Houston, so I may have to dig down the tree because our guests, I don't know. We may be cut from the same cloth. And it could be, that we're both in our 90s. I just turned 98 last Saturday. So we may be cut from the same cloth, and that's okay too. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring our guest up tonight, the one, the only Rescue. Good to see you, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Trent? Appreciate you. How's everybody in chat?
See y'all.
Hopefully everybody made it a good day.
There it is, y'all. This man inspires me because he's always talking about make it a good day. It's your decision. And I was like,
That's
you
it.
know what? That makes sense.
You don't
I
leave
got
it
the power.
don't leave it up to nobody else. You just decide to make it a good day. You're in the
There you
driver's
go.
seat.
There you go, bruh. So for those that may not know who you are, may be seeing you for the first time or the second time, Shannon Jackson, welcome in. Michelle PW, welcome in. Hope all of y'all doing well. She said, Rescue, do me a favor, introduce yourself. Tell the folks, because he is an amazing content creator also. Tell the folks about your channel, a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, I'm Rescue. My real name's Brian. Um, I've kind of been here, and actually, I don't know if I've been doing YouTube for 4 or 5 years or something like that. I I kind of started out just I was in a depression state actually whenever I came into YouTube. So I was kind of in a real dark place personally. And so I was just searching for people to talk to, just some kind of interaction. My background is I've built power stations.
Wow.
I've done steel work. I've done welding. I worked offshore for Union Pacific for a while. Uh, I get my name from I guess from the early 90s.
Okay.
Um, Wildland firefighting is kind of was my thing around here, Southeast Texas. I was a volunteer firefighter. I've
Okay.
also was I've been a guest of the state of Texas in my younger years, and because I've made bad choices, and I was a firefighter even on a farm during
Okay.
that time. So I think I've always I like to help people.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I enjoy helping people. I like to see the happiness when they accomplish something. Something good happens for them. So
Yeah.
nowadays with YouTube I've kind of grown to where actually YouTube has grown me and helped get me back on track where I kind of get my fire back. I do chickens, so that's where the Coop Gang, the Cluckin' Alamo comes from.
There you go.
That's kind of my little morning thing. I start in the mornings normally, and I try to encourage people. Has been my goal. I haven't always stayed on the direct path, but I always try to have good conversation. I've met some pretty cool, awesome people. Trent being one of them, Mike Hudson Valley. And now I'm just because I didn't say your name doesn't mean nothing. You know. If you know, you know. But
There you
I've
go.
met people. I've really enjoyed my experience. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that, and I like to remind people of that. We're in such weird times nowadays, and
Yeah.
there's such an evil fog. In my opinion, there's an evil fog just kind of around everything, and so you kind of got to
Mm-hmm.
push that off.
Mm-hmm.
So
And,
that's kind of I don't know. I've got kids. I've got a missus. I live in Southeast Texas. Been this we cleared the trees off this and built this 40 years ago. I
wow.
haven't always lived here. I've moved around with my family. My mom was here. Somebody was always here. Uh,
Okay.
and then now my mom, what brought me back here is my mom got sick. I got a phone call. I literally came down out of a bucket and said, I got to go. And when she passed here and I held her
Mm-hmm.
in my arms, I just decided I was coming back home and this is where I'll be. So Now I do my chickens. I'm trying to encourage people. I do have some spinal issues. I've been blessed by God here lately to really kind of be able to do
Amen.
things I wasn't able to do before.
Amen.
And so it's kind of where I'm at. You know, if you come listen to me, I can't say that you'll like or agree with everything you hear, but I will say I I can look you in the face and I will tell you that I am an honorable person. I'm a
Hmm.
responsible person and I'm a trustworthy person. And if I fall from that, all you have to do is point that out, and I have no problem apologizing and correcting course because I'm only human.
And I have seen him do that, folks, on a couple occasions on folks' live streams. Ace, welcome in. My Renaissance grandma. Grandma's in the house, y'all.
Woohoo!
So you better mind your manners because she will grab that ear and set you straight if you get out of line. But she'll do it with much love. And if y'all, for those of y'all that are giving excuses of why you don't have a garden, you go over to my Renaissance grandma, her channel, subscribe to it, watch a video because she's growing on a balcony. Everything. She has no room on the balcony for her garden, and it is absolutely amazing.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm
That is
sitting here
awesome.
like, what? Yeah. So hats off to my Renaissance grandma, and met her in person at the very first bug out weekend. You talk about impressed with her setup rescue. She had a portable air conditioner that was cooling her tent.
Hey, she knew how to roll.
She did. She did. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. So she was doing it.
Hey, there's a
But
reason why everybody always goes back to grandma to ask things because grandmas always know.
exactly. Exactly. You know, my grandma, when we were growing up, grandma, can I have a couple dollars? First thing she did was she would turn around and do this. Here, boy, here's a couple dollars, get out my face. Grandma always had money on her. Pull it out her shirt, all of that good stuff. Y'all know. Yeah.
Right?
You are more than welcome, my Renaissance grandma. Much love to you. Folks, if you have not subscribed to her channel, you need to. It'll motivate you to grow something. I don't care what you grow. Everybody should be growing their own food.
Yeah.
And yes, Mountain Survival One, good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great evening. All right, folks. Mayhemic Thursday, concealment versus cover. Ha! What a great topic to talk about, especially with all the mayhemicness going on in these republics of America.
Yes. Some
So,
crazy times. It's cool. I don't
it is.
have, see, I will have to point out. So this is where we're not quite from the same cloth because, see, see,
Uh-huh.
there's no, yeah, there's not. I'm going to reach over here and grab this and I'm going to pour this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a deviation in the cloth. But
And well, and that's true. And it may not happen because she actually came down here while we were backstage talking before the live stream, and topped it off and took the pot and another cup with her. And Cole walked out of the room with her, so I may not see her till later on tonight.
ah.
So
I do have to give the missus credit. If she was within range and stuff, then she would get me some coffee. But
of course, yes, because that's just how it goes.
yeah,
All
true.
right, folks. Concealment versus cover. I'll say this before I let Rescue chime in. The movies. The movies. I don't care. You name the movie, doesn't matter. Uh have literally ruined the reality of concealment versus cover. And if you don't believe me, talk to some of the veterans in the chat that have been in actual combat. They'll tell you for sure. So, rescue, and we're going to try to keep this as common sense as possible, folks. But common sense is so common it's rare. So we may jump in some rabbit holes, and that's okay. It's Mayhemic Thursday. Who knows? So What would you rather have, Rescue? Concealment or cover?
Hmm. It would be this, and I guess it depends on what I'm approaching.
Yeah.
If it's something that caught me unaware, then I want cover
Mm-hmm.
until I can reassess everything and kind of then. If it's something that I foresee coming, then
Mm-hmm.
I would probably go concealment, but I
Yeah.
would already know my cover would be my next move. So I would the concealment be for a reason.
Okay.
Concealment to me should never be in a defensive. You're just hiding. You're the squirrel just waiting for the hawk to snatch you whenever you're hiding. You need to be doing a concealment for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
out of desperation till you can make a move or whatever, but to use that as, yeah, that would be a good
So,
move.
and I agree with you. And on that note, basically, concealment is just hiding.
Yep,
You
100%.
can be concealed hiding under the bed. Is that going to save your life if you're in a gunfight? I don't know. You know,
Yeah, as
the
long as they don't
movie.
shoot at the bed.
Correct. As long as they don't shoot at the bed, the movies you see the guy hiding under the bed and you see the view, the camera view from under the bed, and the dude walks in the room and the guy shoots him in the foot. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. Let me know how that works out. So basically, concealment is just hiding
Pretty
so
much.
that you cannot be seen.
Well, and it depends on the aspect it's coming from. Because,
Yep.
if it's on a, like to me, concealment in a defensive nature is just, I don't know, for me, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
viable thing. That's only for the moment until I can make the move to cover kind of thing. Where on an aggressive perspective, concealment is your typical sniper setup. So that's on an aggressive stance, concealment has a purpose, but it's just not on a defensive nature to me.
Right. Dan H said cover can disappear PDQ so much that it doesn't even qualify as cheap concealment. Yes. So cover. So let's just we're gonna go there, y'all. We're gonna go down that road. I don't care if this gets demonetized, it gets demonetized. Don't care. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole. We're in a gunfight, okay? SHTF scenario situation. The bad guys are trying to come to your house and take everything you have and you. Okay? It's on. They're delivering, you're returning. You're delivering, they're returning. Now, the best thing to have is, in your opinion, cover.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Let's talk about it, folks. Cover basically will allow rounds to come at you without hitting you. Meaning you're either behind steel, and we're not going to get into what calibers can go through steel. You're behind something that is fortified that can take a round or two.
well, to me, cover you're trying to, so cover would be assessed off of like what you see as the threat. Like how big is the threat? Is
Yep.
this because if it's somebody with a bat, okay, well then plywood can be a cover. I mean
Yeah.
if it's handgun, then you can use 2 layers plywood kind of with some buffer trees and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
but if the serious it gets, you just got to remember that you're talking about stuff that penetrates and ricochets. So
Yeah.
you don't you don't want to hide inside the steel container. You want to
Correct.
be on the outside.
On the
That's
outside of it. Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're
So I
you're
just
you're basically cover. You're hiding. You're able to return fire without worrying about the possibility of something coming through it.
yeah, because you're going to look at penetration. So that like if you're okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, just if somebody's coming at you with AKs,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's penetrating power.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
don't get behind your typical interior door as paneling with some spacer in between. That's not going to do a damn thing. Your sheetrock's not going to do a thing.
Right.
You're gonna need to be behind the brick. You're gonna need to be, and you got to remember, the closer they get, I mean, you can, because your imagination can make it run to wherever you just. I think that on the common sense and then the rational side, you want to just, the bigger the threat, the thicker the cover you're going to want, is
Right.
kind of like that. So it's more dense
Exactly.
of cover. A vehicle out on the road, yeah, it's cool and it's handy at that moment. That to me, for me,
Mhm.
and this is strictly my opinion, that's not viable, sustainable cover
Mhm.
for long term.
No.
It's a matter of time before the right ricochet, the right piercing through, the right bouncing underneath, the right. That's good for on the move. If
Correct.
you're, and then inside buildings, man, if you're in a typical frame house that has sheetrock walls, this whole zipping into the bathroom like in the movies, and they're like, okay, it's like, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, I can't speak for all criminals in the world, but
Right.
if I intended harm on somebody, and just because you ducked into that little side door to the bathroom, I'm gonna start just eating that corner up, going, and then I'm gonna come up and make it. I mean, just because it's sheetrock insulation, so you kind of gotta, don't get caught up in just the visual. And I
Correct.
don't know.
Correct.
So
And if you don't believe me, folks, especially the way they build houses nowadays, uh,
yeah,
a 9 millimeter can go through it. Okay.
yep,
My house was built in the '60s and it's brick, so that gives me something compared to a house that was built last month.
right,
But still, I'm not going to count on that, to protect me as if I'm, fortified and good. Maybe good for a moment, depending on the threat and how, what they're throwing and how many there are. And we all know that. And as Hudson Valley said, when in doubt, frag out, or whatever they say in Call of Duty.
well, I think after you pop so many, don't in Call of Duty, don't you, can't you just call like down a nuke or something that eliminates all the bad guys or some shit?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You just
You can
so you
you can
just need your
call in air
ratio.
support. Yeah. You can call in air support. Exactly,
And,
Dusty. Right. Watermelon crawl. Yeah.
well, and
So
that's, I think it depends too
go
on
ahead.
kind of how like where you're at, your location, and then this is another thing that it's scenario wise. It's like there's like I can see. I'm trying to learn how to say things a little different where it's more politically correct. It's like where I'm at. See, if shit starts hitting the fan, I'm gonna like know this well in advance because
Yeah.
of the ruralness of where I'm at and the smaller community.
Yes.
But now, if you're, to be honest, I mean, if you're like in a scenario where you're right there across the street, right next door, to be honest, and I hate to kind of talk this way because I almost feel like I'm doing fear porn or something, and I don't mean to, but if I was in those scenarios, one, I would have my room laid out to where my dressers were on the outside walls, or if I had an
Hmm.
interior wall that went to a hallway
Hmm.
to the front door, and my bedroom was here, I
Hmm.
would have I would have a mirrors. I might even just go ahead and put some plywood behind the dresser that you wouldn't see, just so that I know there's a thickness right there,
Yeah.
because you kind of gotta, it's your own safe room in somewhere. Because I gotta say, man, being that in the center, and if things can push, like if this, what is it, Brookview, I think is where that the ice place is in Illinois, all a bunch of crap's
Yeah.
going down. No,
Yeah.
Brookview.
Broad
See,
view, I
like
think it is.
if you're
Whatever.
like right there around the corner of that place in one of them houses, so I mean, there's just, there are crowds right by. I just say fortify you some walls, and you're just going to have to. That's where, just to me, that's a decision process, because there's going to be a boundary, and you're just going to need to establish that. Going, well, when this crosses, I'm going all in, because you're either all in or you're getting used. It is what it is. You're
Exactly. Exactly. And so Camo Carl, good to see you, my brother. Welcome. And he said, okay, again, Cover is bulletproof, concealment is hiding. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
somebody said something earlier about concealment as on a tactical advantage, and that's true. And that's on the
mhm,
aggressive side. If you're on an aggressive side, then yeah, definitely concealment, because you can have somebody that is so concealed that they can tell you what just passed by, and those that would never know that they did it, because his whole purpose was to never make a move, just to scout per se. So yeah, totally.
yep, exactly.
Just not if you're a dad that needs to defend his wife and you have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. You need to not be in that position.
Correct. And we had that conversation before the live stream. And yeah, it is what it is. Now, believe it or not, folks, um, because again, no fear porn, no fear mongering. We're not doing that. We're just talking about the difference because everybody ain't John Wick or Jason Bourne or 007 or whoever else you can think of. Um, One thing that I would suggest when the balloon goes up, one thing that I have prepped in my preps are sandbags that can be filled with dirt and sand and stacked on the floor and up in a couple rows deep around the interior of the house.
Yep.
That will give you some extra protection. Um, do I want to do it? Absolutely not.
Right.
Not at all. But if I have to, and I'm like you, because where I live, if something goes down, we're gonna have a long enough notice that we can start putting things in place and do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There'll be a deuce and a half parked across that road up there,
Uh
probably along with a tanker or something. And so from
yeah.
then on, that'll be there. There will be a one way in, because that's where I'm at.
Right.
I
You
literally I got a river that banks me, and then I've got a one way in and one way out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you sound like me. And our road has, 20, 30, 40 foot trees, and everybody on my road has chainsaws. So we can drop trees, close the road off, and do what we need to do as well. Yeah.
Well, and we've been isolated because we've been flooded in twice.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've been totally isolated when they open them gates on that dam up there. We always flood, and
Right.
so we've actually had we deliver meals across the lake in little John boats, and
Uh huh.
all. So I mean, we kind of been down that route, and I think that, which I will say this, that we got enough people here. There's vets and some other people
Hmm.
that are kind of experienced in things. Because to me, I will say some of the things that I hear, and then I look at the locations
Yeah.
using that Brookville or Brookview or whatever that town is. How many people that are going to experience it? Because there's, and like you just said, there's all this John Wick and the movie stuff, but it's because there's, like, you can talk about, and because I've seen this in the training with stuff, you can talk about what happens on this kind of wreck or what happens in this kind of scenario, and people are like, oh yeah, and you can pump on the dummies, you can do the dummy drags, going, yeah, see, I can pull people, and then you roll up on the actual car accident and the column is through the chest, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're puking right there, because now that's the real visual. And
Yeah.
so, and I only bring that up because, see, it's easy to talk about throwing the lid and doing this, and here's all I'm going to point out is, one, there's a reality to death. So, and when you actually see somebody, the flesh get destroyed, there's a visual.
Hmm.
And then the
Hmm.
second part is what about the youth that are going to
Hmm.
be around that see this? Like, it's easy to talk about, and I'm not trying to insult nobody, Call of Duty kind of style. But
Yeah.
what about the families that all these people are attached to? Like, what about your wife? Is your
Yep.
mom? Is your grandma? Is your kids? Your nieces? Your nephews? I mean, And so that's why defending yourself is primary, but it's also in perspective of family, because it's not just a you thing,
Yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
not to me. For me, it's not.
Correct.
I guess I need to rephrase the way I say that too. It's not about me. It's about my family.
Yeah.
Whether it's just her, or if the kids are over here with the grandkids, then it becomes everybody. It's just, so my mentality wouldn't be like, I have a lone wolf mentality, but it's a plan that I already have in my head, that if for me
Mhm.
it's more like a hurricane or something like that takes everything
Right.
out. Now my
Right.
kids are grown, so they've already sustained it for themselves. But it's
Yeah.
like, we got a plan. We did it. Actually, I did it on a stream because we had the hurricane and knocked the power out and everything. And I send her over to her parents. They all, because
Exactly.
the way their house is, the situation,
Mhm.
Generac, brick home, everything's cool. And go stay there. I got this.
Yep.
You know, I do
Yeah.
not leave my property because there ain't no looting going down here. So like the stuff that went down Katrina in New Orleans, no, see, that ain't happening. I ain't
That
leaving my
ain't
stuff.
happening.
If I'm sleeping on the roof, I'm sleeping on the roof.
Yep.
You just ain't getting to my stuff. It's my stuff.
It's my stuff, and I'm with you on that, bro. And I'm like you. I'm gonna do what I need to do to protect my family, no matter what, at all cost. Doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, Ed, say 18 inches of sandbags stop an awful lot and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
Well, see,
that's
and
a
it's
huge
like stacking those up. You got to plan that. So where are you going to put people? And
yes.
it's, it's not going to be just a you. And so that's a thing to remember with the whole cover and concealment too, is because it's like, if you decide you're going conceal. Okay, but wait a minute. Are they tended to, or are you able to going to go conceal and they're protected now? Or, because I believe in the man being the protector and provider. So that's where I come from.
I agree with you.
So you got to watch
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely, 100%. That's
What's
my
up,
job.
everybody?
That is my job to protect and provide for my family, period. And I would do that at all cost. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Even if, they're standing and I'm not. As long as they're standing, I've done my job at all costs.
I'll share an experience. Actually, we just went through it last night because we sold a TV,
Okay.
and she did it through the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, for here, I'm really not down with marketplace because
Me neither.
we're in the country, and it's like at first the guy wanted to meet us in. It's a spot Saratoga is the name. Not that that means anything to anybody, but it's like a
Mm-hmm.
dot on the map between where we're at and where he was down in outside Beaumont. And I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, we're not fixing to go meet up in the middle of the woods, because that's kind of what it is around here. If you're talking about an intersection of farm market roads, then it's like, we're going to pull over. No, I don't think we're really going to do that. Well, actually, we considered it, but what I did is I called my son, because
Yeah.
see, for me, that's my 6'5", 9mm toting little tank,
There you
and
go.
me and him might not get along. And I've told people on a stream before, it's like that kid
Mm-hmm.
won't help me for shit around here. And, but hey, he's hard headed. But I'm going to tell you right now, when the phone rings going, we got an issue, and
I'm on my way.
I've got two guys or whatever. As he rounds the corner down there, there'll probably be a red dot coming out that window, figuring that he needs to go ahead and start dropping at that
Exactly.
point. To
As
just
it should be. I'm
But
with
see,
you.
like that guy pulled up. We decided, and I'm sorry I deviated from my story, but
You're fine.
so we did the TV. Well, it was going to be late enough, and I told my son, going, you know what, he's gonna come to the house, but don't worry about it because you need to go to work in the morning. So we got this, and so square biz. And people
Mm-hmm.
that know me, what an ass I am. I'm not one of these kind of. But this is you got to think. I don't understand people. You think things through. You don't have to get complicated with things. Like the minute we decided that, okay, he's going to come here and pick this TV up, I said, okay. I said, well, then I don't want him close to the door.
Mm-hmm.
The farther away from the door, the better you are. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's your boundaries. So
Mm-hmm.
we set the TV up out in the driveway at the carport. I
Mm-hmm.
then went and I got my little 5-volt lights, and I hung them up on the carport right there and plugged my little battery pack up. Matter of fact, this is my little battery pack.
Okay. Yeah.
16,000 mile little battery pack.
Yep.
Uh, so lit that all up, and then we set chairs up. left the front door open, had both dogs inside the storm door, which were fine until that
Mm-hmm.
truck pulled in that driveway. And then that's okay because as they got out,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and well, here was another step. First, I have a machete that stays up on and wedged in my carport
Yep.
that it's accessible.
Yep.
That's for me, not for her. She can't reach it.
Right.
But I also take another particular item,
Mm-hmm.
which does these cool 50 cal steel balls,
My God.
and it was laying there on my little toolbox, and I took a little towel and I put it right over there, and we actually walked through everything, going, okay, so you remember this is this. So I said, and this is the way this goes. So if anything goes south, I'm going to tell you to get, and what you're going to do is you're fixing to get that. You're going to engage it. Whatever's available, you're going to do is you're going up that ramp, you're going to open that door, and you're going to unleash hell. And you're
Yeah.
going to get on your phone, and you're going to call our son, and then you're going to call 911.
Yep.
That's
That's
just
the plan.
because. But see, and it's no panic. There was no like, okay, that's why, don't, maybe I say it too casually, but you just got to think things through. Just kind of, but see, also, this is nature for me as we go places. I'm already,
Yeah.
you kind of, your peripherals, and you want to look at your options because people can be people. And when people are people, that can be good or bad. So,
Exactly. Oh, y'all!
oh,
The cup is jingle jangling and it disappears. Hi, Cole.
mm-hmm.
How are you? And if you can't
Evening, ma'am.
hear that, then you have to deal with this. And the cup comes back hot and steaming. And thank you. I love you.
Hola,
How,
COO.
how are you? What are you doing? Getting ready for bed. Don't turn that light out, please. Um, Finger on the light switch. Like, don't do that. You okay? Oh, she said her trigger finger. Say hello to everybody. Thank you.
Hola, ma'am.
Yeah. So there it is, folks. Skull.
Skull.
As everybody is speaking to the COO, and so you got a comment said, "Boss lady." She said, "What up?" Yeah, her favorite. Yeah, everybody's speaking. Yeah. Yep, CJ. Yep, nephew. And as mom walked out, he walked out behind her. I think he's still trying to, get his evening snack or whatever. But
Well, I
so
got.
so how did the sale go?
Oh, it went down good. Matter of fact, hey, another little plug on the side. So it's kind of like a domino effect
Yeah,
because I actually took my little oops out there
yeah,
and plugged it up
yeah. Got a
so that
couple
then
of them
he
over
could
there.
see that it worked.
Nice, nice, and everything went smooth, didn't it?
Yep, went smooth, got it, and it made me feel better because that's just more money towards my little tree issue out here, which I'm just waiting on the rental place to get the boom lift. Apparently, they had to order some parts to fix it. Now I'm just waiting on it to get fixed.
Ah, okay, yeah. I'm with you.
Didn't get it
Yeah,
in.
I don't like marketplace, and last time I had to do, which was years ago, I went with a friend to buy something, and I got one on the hip, I got one in the back, I got one in the truck. My son's in the truck. He's got one, and we just was like, yeah, this is going to go smooth
Yeah.
because people are crazy.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I wouldn't have probably felt as kind of cautious, although it's just natural to a point
Hmm.
anyway. Just,
Yeah.
but like if we had gone down into town to meet up at the Walmart or something, it probably, because it's just, that's not the typical behavior, you just don't. So, but now anything can happen out onto the woods. So
Yes. Yeah.
take them long, dark farm marker roads, buddy. Yeah.
It does something to the psyche, and I've watched too many movies
And
because and so
I
Here's
will
my
say a heads up: you don't always hear banjos. Let me tell you.
correct, and here's my politically incorrect statement. Y'all know who always gets unalived first. So I'm
Night
just
coffee.
saying. Yeah. But
Make it a good day tomorrow, ma'am.
yes, indeed. Take care,
Talk to you
Coffee.
soon.
Thank you for stopping in. Have a great evening. So, concealment, cover. You know, folks, first of all, do not listen to the movies. Go ahead.
I saw PAMT, and then he said opinion, but then I remembered he did say something. I think it was either him or Rip. Somebody asked about the No Kings thing.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I forgot who it was. Oh, it was Rip saying, "Do you feel the No Kings protest will touch off anything, or will they use it as a false flag?" I would say if you're around that, man, that's where you want to do the cover thing. You need to, I don't know. That's you stay inside and
Yeah.
you got
Stay
to
home.
stay out of the conflict zones,
Yeah.
unless you have to be there. And I'm sorry, I
Exactly.
didn't mean to deviate from the
Oh
concealment
no,
piece.
you're fine. That falls right in line with our topic today. So the no kings thing. I here's what I'm gonna tell y'all. Here's my opinion of it. I do not care unless they're at the end of my drive or coming down my road. Other than that, I'm staying home. Don't want nothing to deal with it. I have told my family, stay away from these areas and go about your day. We are not going to live in fear because of some idiots.
Yeah,
That's my take on it. Plain and simple.
yeah,
Um,
because that's like it won't happen around here. It might go down in Dallas or down in Houston or something. They might have some little march, but you just stay out. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
you don't put yourself. Plus, because hey, you got to be around for your family too. So I mean,
exactly.
so even your actions and the way things you do. This is something I consider. I'm a little more flagrant about it nowadays because I'm not raising my kids. I have grandkids,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
you know, I, you always gotta because you got to be there for tomorrow. And so, what the choices you make, especially when you're a provider, and like that's always how I always felt. And sometimes I took chances that you do what you got to do, but it was always in my the back of my mind because my job's here. I mean, I might be
Yeah,
helping somebody else. That's all
yeah,
cool, but
yeah.
this is my main one. So
Hmm.
you got to watch putting yourself out at risk for outside things away from your home because your main priority should be your home, your family.
Exactly. My family is number one priority outside of God. It's God, then my family, and then everything else. Jonathan, congratulations for the great state and Republic of Florida for open carry. But I would never care open carry. I wouldn't because the element of surprise is always your best friend.
Night, Billy.
Have a good evening, Billy. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. Tommy Bites, good to see you as well, and everybody else that just came in. I want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. Got my man Rescue. We're talking concealment versus cover. And I'll say this whatever works best for you and your family, do it. Just
Oh
make
yeah,
sure that after it's over and done, you see the sun come up the next day.
amen. Well,
That's the goal.
assess your situation. Assess, without doing it in a panicky kind of stressful, anxious way, but just run things through your head given your scenario where you're at. Because once again, I'm trying not to talk like, oh, this is it, because hey, it's your area is your area.
Hmm.
So for
Hmm.
listeners that do it, like for me, I'm in a very rural little area.
Yeah.
It's a community off of a farm market road that's 16 miles from the big town. So it's
Okay.
kind of knowing that, well, if something were to go down, then we'll just say something in the town, that's a 16-mile buffer. You
Hmm.
start to hear stuff. Well, I would, and then I know it's like, if I hear it coming, like we hear something coming, and it's like, oh yeah, well then we'll station up there, kind of thing. If something all of a sudden went crazy right down here, and this weekend will be a good example. I'm gonna have my kids will be here with my grandkids. I'm fixing to have an awesome weekend, buddy. I get to see my granddaughter and my grandson along with my kids, so this will be a cool weekend. But like, say something goes down, because that kind of came to mind. What just a minute ago, I was thinking, wow, yeah. So if say
Mhm.
something goes down, I've got a 2-year-old that'll be here.
Mhm.
You know, I have a 7-year-old that'll be here, and then I
Mhm.
have grown people that are going to be here. I
Yeah.
have I have 2 people that are fully capable, and then I'll have one that's I'm not insultively saying she's not, but she knows
Right.
it. She counts on me. It's like,
Right.
you need to tell me what I need to do. I mean,
Yep.
and so, well, that. Well, I would start kind of already kind of going, okay, something starts going down. We're going to need to get the truck over here by the building. We're going to then park her car here. We can, then that gives this. We can start to watch. You see what you just kind of like, you can do it without freaking out. You just kind of start to look around, and, you kind of picture something going down. Well, what would you, okay, it's going to come in here. Here's this. So, and if, man, I feel for the people that are in these heavily concentrated areas or around like this stuff that, it's like
Yeah.
them damn people in Portland, man. Personally, me no save, because
Yep.
you're in, there's no way I could live in an apartment with that going down right there night after night.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I'm with you.
and like people that in the cities, I can imagine that's a very stressful, high anxious kind of feeling, maybe, if there is a potential of people that are walking down the
Yeah.
street in front of your house, that would,
Yeah.
but then see, there's where maybe you yard ornaments, that way
Right.
you've got creating little stumble
Yep.
blocks,
Yep.
if you've got to be where you are, then don't panic and get too
Mhm.
wound up. Just start processing,
Mhm.
going, well, this is where I'm at. So then start fortifying kind of where you are,
Yes.
and know where you got to go. And if you have a
Yep.
family, like if you're a man and a woman with 2 kids, and you've got to live in this house that's in this city street, and bam, and it could happen any moment, then you want to do the safe room type thing, and you
Exactly.
want to know your little drill with your wife and your kids, and what's the
Yep.
fallback, you know, and because that's just a reality. I mean, down here in Texas,
Exactly.
we've done that
And
since
remember this,
19.
folks. Where you're at and where you live, you have home field advantage. You have home field advantage. Use it. The last thing somebody wants to do is come here. I'm
Well,
telling
and
you.
Rabbit's got a good point too. If you're in a kind of a somewhat rural, I mean, the city you can't really, because they don't, they have the paid departments. But if you're out and you got
Yeah.
volunteer, join your local fire department.
Yep. Exactly.
One, it'll help keep you in shape, hopefully,
Yep.
because you'll be doing exercise. So that keeps you, but it also keeps you tied into communications of what goes down in your county,
Exactly.
because you know departments are overlapped. That's why I said where I'm at, I don't really worry about that kind of stuff, because
Yeah.
we're going to know well in advance.
Yep. Same here. We're gonna know well in advance, and I got neighbors, they we communicate. DB Cooper, welcome in. Good to see you. And that's just the thing, folks.
That's the
Know
guy
you.
with all the money right there.
That's right. I'm still trying to figure out how he did it. Yeah, yeah. But folks, there's strength in numbers, and it sounds so cliche, and everybody says it, and you've always heard it. But find your people that you can depend on, and that can depend on you in a time of need. And yes, it's tough, but there are good people out there, folks. Um, Concealment versus cover. It's you know depending on the situation, especially if you're moving. I'm moving as in physically running here and there and whatever. You're going to pick and choose, and you're going to get what you can get for that split second, and then move on to the next piece. So, is it easy? No, but it's something we need to think about. And my whole thing with everything that I talk about on here is to get people thinking. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not.
Right.
No, I don't, and I'm gonna tell y'all that. But I know enough people that if I don't know something, I'm gonna ask questions because Grandma used to always say, "A closed mouth don't get fed." Ask questions.
And the only wrong question is the one that wasn't asked.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Camo Carl said, "I've noticed people are usually the problem, so keep them away." There you go. There you
I would
go.
say that that's because that's what I want to try to. I'm going to start focusing on that. I'm trying to come up with a little scenario for some little episodes that I want to start doing because I just want to get people because if and I try to nowadays I look at things because I have the benefit of little man. He's my grandson.
Uh
I
huh.
don't get to see my granddaughter much because he's working down in Florida right now
Okay.
at what is that Cape Carnival,
Cape
whatever the
Canaveral.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's doing
Okay.
some welding down there as they're building stuff. So
Right.
I don't get to see her, but my son brings him over every other weekend. So I always have little man time. And sometimes it's the perfect scenario. It's almost like having some kind of outer body experience almost because
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because he can literally sit on the couch in a spot and little man can literally be down there playing on the floor, and if I'm sitting in my chair looking this way, it's like I can literally look at me with him right there on the floor because this is the same place he grew up. So I mean
Right.
it's couch is different, but and it really gets me thinking a lot of where because I think back to him and I go, wow, it's the mutilation with kids, all this trans
Yeah.
stuff. Me and the missus talk about this. Like, this wasn't even like on the table when
No.
he was walking around at 2 and stuff. So it's like, and so
Exactly.
all of a sudden now he's grown and I'm looking at little man and I'm like, well, this is where we're at now. States passed laws. The government's talking about this on the Senate floor and stuff. So this is a thing. What the hell's going to be here? What's available for you when you're a young man? When you're
Yeah.
ready to be out here and I want you to go find your girlfriend and get a wife and have kids. I want you to be able to find a good job. But what am I going to do to try to do all I can to make sure that that's still here? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I mean,
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point you kind of, I look at, well, okay, stuff screwed up, man. The world's upside down. You're not
Mm-hmm.
going to fix everything, but what can I do to help slow the pendulum down? You
Right.
know, where there's still
Yep.
some availability for him and
Exactly. And for the generations. And I'm with you. I've got two grandsons and a granddaughter. And the youngest of the three is 3. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to make sure that when she's a teenager, just a teenager, that nothing happens to them? You know, I'll be in my hundreds by then, but and I will be here. So I'm trying to prepare my kids, our kids, to take care of the next couple of generations, especially our son. He is just he's my son is like this. Our son is so even keel, and he gets it. He's that kid. He's finding himself. He'll be 21 in January.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, he's finding himself, but still, he's like yours. If I make a phone call, he's making a beeline.
Oh yeah.
I get it. And then we've got 4 girls, and
So
exactly,
I,
exactly.
you just I feel for you. You got automatically empathy award for me right there. I mean, hell, the
Right.
one she was rough enough, especially once she figured out that there was the line. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh wait, so my dad only goes so far, and it's like I know
Mm-hmm.
because you're my daughter, but boy, if you boy, your brother better not pull that crap. That's
Right.
so. Oh yeah, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Ooh, girls.
our youngest is 17.
See, and
And
it's like girls. That's another thing. It kind of gets men when you have a daughter, and I can only imagine with four, because it changes the perspective of so much when all of a sudden you have a daughter. It's like you now have a female in, besides the misses, and it's like perspective,
yes.
verbiage, choice of words, all this
Yes.
stuff then shifts perspective because it's like, oh yeah, and it's like that's it.
Yep. Exactly. And so now, I'm always on high alert, you know. Every time my phone rings and it's one of them, or I get a text message, I Cole's ready to go, 0 dark 30. Okay, Dad, let's get in the truck, let's do this and let's go. And I'm like, slow down, dude. It's bad enough when he hears cars come up the drive and the driveway alarms go off and all of that. He's like, okay, I got you. And he's barking and running to the window to see who he can devour.
Right.
So, and that's how
That
I
was
am with my daughters.
that
Yeah.
was funny last night because now the old man doesn't bark hardly. I mean,
Uh-huh.
but now the little one, oh yeah, she goes crazy over anything. So yeah, would do when
Yeah.
them guys first back then, I could only imagine what they were thinking was like, because she's steadily at the door.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. And that's the same with
seeing like
Cole. I
that,
mean,
I would have felt weird if the kids had have been like little at that. See now, given the current
uh-huh.
status, that would have been different. She probably wouldn't have even been outside. I'll say that. Like if the kids had
Mhm.
still been small enough under the
Right.
care, then they would have all been in the house
In
and
the
she would
house.
have been
Yep.
watching and I would have done it myself because that would
Mm-hmm.
have, because you
Mm-hmm.
could change the dynamics adding kids into it.
Correct. And that's why when there is, concern, Cole stays in the house. As bad as he wants to go with Dad, because he's ready to do, rip a tree out of the ground and swing it at him. And I'm
Right.
like, nah, bro, you need to protect Mom and
That's
everybody
it.
else. And he's like, okay, I got you, Dad. Roger that. Isn't that right? Yeah.
Ooh.
But concealment versus cover, folks. Man, we got 2 minutes left. I want y'all to think about it. How can you enhance the fortification of your house? I've already told you sandbags are a good way to do it if need be. Rescue talked about plywood, other
File
things,
cabinets.
file cabinets, dressers, couches, whatever it may take. Okay. You ain't got to go out and get 8-inch thick steel, which it
Well,
wouldn't be a
hopefully
big.
you don't, hopefully you're not, your environment's not so hostile that you literally have to
Yes,
put up plate walls and,
correct.
you know, hopefully
Yeah,
you've already adapted out of that and said, wow, we need to probably get out of this very
we
hot,
probably need to
hostile
move.
area.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, Prepper Book Club, good to see you, bruh. Hope you're doing well.
Dude, I appreciate you having me up here very much. It
Oh
has
man,
been
I
awesome.
I rescue you. You like I said, we cut from the same cloth, bro, and I appreciate you. But
Yes, sir.
folks, if
Thank
you
you very
have
much, man.
not, thank you, Teresa, for dropping the link to Rescue's channel. Go subscribe to his channel. Just tell him, say VP said you okay. You got the green check mark of approval, and he does, and he's a good man. Period. I don't care
Thank you.
what y'all may say. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? What's the problem? He keeps putting his paw on me. What? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Okay.
So, Dad, I just want some loving too.
Come here. Come on. No? You sure? Maybe? Come on. No? Okay, fine. Maybe not. Did you just come in the house from with mommy? Okay. Anyway, concealment versus cover, folks. Don't always rely on what you see in the movies because
Yeah.
somebody made a comment that could get you unalived.
Yes.
PA said even if rescue is in the wrong time zone.
See, I'm not. This just shows the mass confusion that's going on. See, because I'm in the central time zone, so it's called central time zone for a reason. You ever notice why they don't get that on the East Coast? They don't do that on the West Coast. They got these other weird names. We're in the central because everybody gonna come back to center. It's okay. It's okay though. Everybody's a legend in their own mind. Look at
That is
Coffee.
true.
Coffee always likes to think she's really doing something because she's an hour ahead. She brags about it every morning with me, and it's like, I'm sorry, it's just not so.
Yes. And if you don't believe me that this man is doing his thing, get up early. Get up early and go to YouTube and see who's doing a live stream at 7 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I was like, dude, what are you even doing awake?
Oh, dude, I'm up by 2:33 in the morning.
I
I only
yeah,
sleep about 4 or 5 hours.
yep. I'm with you on that. That was me. And I try to sleep in, but somebody has other issues and puts his feet up on the bed and stares me in the face and just sits there. I'm like, dude. And then next
Oh,
thing you know, yeah, we're going out in the dark. I'm gonna give you the last words, Rescue, before we get out of here.
you know, I just would like to encourage everybody to take a moment and one, realize that we need to set an example for another generation, whether it's for 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, all the way down to the 5-year-olds. But at some point, we have no role models for the younger generation. There are no role models. And so I think that this is where men need to step up and start being an example of how to handle themselves, how to conduct business, be respectful, be righteous. Women are to step up and be moms, be the caretakers, you know, be the foundation of the homes. And I'm going to tell you that you need to make your day a good day. And I say that because I really think that to say have one throws it out as like it's an option. And it's really not, because no matter what the scenario is, how you process that mentally can make or break your day. So you really get to decide. Some people lose sight of that, I think. And so I just try to encourage you that you can make it. And about the next best important thing I can ever tell you, and I've gotten to where I try to say this every time, is there is a creator. It's God, and Jesus is king, and he loves you, and he wants to talk to you. So just reach out. That's all I'd recommend.
Amen. If you reach out to him, he will answer. Folks, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on MAYHEMIC Thursday. Don't let the mayhemicness throw you off your game. And remember this, folks. Keep on prepping because your family depends on you and it depends on your life. God bless everybody. Have an amazing evening, and we will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a good evening.